Version 3.1 will finally bring us Aemeath, and after analyzing her echo sets and livestream gameplay, it's very clear she'll have two main playstyles, Fusion Burst and Toon Break. And because she's a fusion unit, she can also work in mono-fusion teams. Kuro is basically giving us all three team options back to back. Lynae and Mornye unlock her Toon Break team, Lupa is her most universal option for mono-fusion and Toon Break, and Chisa, who's also getting a rerun, enables her Fusion Burst team. So it's important to understand which archetype is best for your account, because most of us are F2P or low spenders, and we can't really afford all three teams, especially with Luke coming soon, who will likely want the same Toon Break supports as Aemeath. So let's start with the most flexible option, Lupa. She's undoubtedly the best fusion support for any fusion DPS, not just because her buffs are insane, but because of how many teams she can work in. Specifically for Aemeath, Lupa can fit into a Toon Break team with Mornye, a negative status team with Chisa, and traditional mono-fusion teams like Lupa plus Brant or Lupa plus Changli. That alone makes Lupa one of the best supports you can get for Aemeath. Now, what does Lupa actually do? She provides direct damage amplification for the entire team, and this increases per fusion member. With 3 fusion members, you can reach up to 18% total damage bonus. She also provides fusion resistance shred, depending on how many fusion members you run, and she gains extra fusion shred when you have 3 fusion members. Then on top of that, her outro gives a huge fusion damage bonus, plus a basic attack damage bonus for the next character. That's why Lupa is the best fusion support you can have on your account. And even if you already own other fusion DPS like Changli, Brant, or Galbarena, she still works with all of them and gives insane value. Even long-term, she stays useful even if you move Aemeath into a different team later. And if we do get a dedicated Fusion Burst support in the future, Aemeath, Lupa, and that future unit would all be fusion, meaning you activate basically every part of Lupa's kit. So honestly, there's no other unit that fits this many teams, especially for a fusion account. We'll compare her value properly once we cover the other options, but for now, Lupa is the easiest safe pull if you want long-term value. Also, we are currently running 11K special giveaway, so do participate. More info is in the description, and do not forget to check out Loot Bar, as they offering some insane discount for current and upcoming banners, provides way cheaper top-ups than in-game, and this is also completely safe and super fast, and offers self-top-up, so you don't need to share any details. Just use the link below for your purchase now. Coming back to the topic. Now, aside from Lupa, Chisa is also coming back. And since she's a dedicated negative status buffer with universal defense shred, she becomes a solid option if you want to play Aemeath specifically in Fusion Burst teams. The best Chisa setup for Aemeath will likely be Chisa, the new Fusion Burst support, and Aemeath. But for now, Chisa is the only real buffer option if you want to run Aemeath as a Fusion Burst DPS, so the best team in the short term is likely Chisa, Lynae, and Aemeath. Or you replace Lynae with Changli, since both can provide liberation damage value. The downside is, Chisa is still restricted by the negative status archetype. She can be stronger than general supports, but she's not a must-have like Siakona or Phoebe. And that hurts her value a lot, especially if you don't own other negative status DPS and you're only pulling her for Aemeath. Now the last two options are Lynae and Mornye. Both are dedicated Toon Break supports. Lynae brings universal damage amplification plus liberation value with a Toon Break boost, while Mornye looks like a pure Toon Break support because her biggest damage increase is dependent on having either Lynae or Aemeath in the team. We already made a full dedicated video breaking down these two, so definitely check that one out.
Okay, now let's actually discuss the best support option for Aemeath for your account. For new players starting fresh, it's recommended to go for universal supports, like Lynae, and if you skipped Lynae, then Lupa might be your best option if you're pulling Aemeath. Like I mentioned earlier, she fits into basically any fusion team with any fusion DPS, which makes her value insane for your account. I would not recommend Chisa for new players who don't have Carthidia or Zanny. Even though Chisa is the only universal negative status buffer, her buffs are honestly nowhere close to dedicated supports, and you can replace her with units like Verena without losing much damage. But for players who've been playing for a while and already have fusion units like Brant and Changli, maybe you even pulled Mornye and you really don't want to pull Lupa, then Chisa can still be a decent option, but she's not the character I'd recommend, especially when you compare her value to Lupa. And if you don't want Lupa, honestly just skip both and wait for the next Fusion Burst support, or go for Lynae or Mornye and build around them. They give you more team options and more flexibility for Aemeath. And Lynae is especially valuable because she can work in both negative status and Toon Break teams, thanks to her universal direct buffs. For anyone wondering what team is actually best for Aemeath right now, it's looking like the best team will be Lynae plus Mourn, followed by Lupa plus Mornye. But this can change once the future dedicated support arrives, especially because the set is already out. It could be one of the future units, or even something like Rover. For overall ranking, my number 1 is still Lynae, followed by Lupa, then Mornye. Her buffs are broken, but the downside is she only works in Toon Break teams. And last is Chisa. And as I said, Aemeath is a new unit, so she's almost guaranteed to be cracked, and she'll most likely clear endgame content easily, even without the perfect setups. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe, because we'll keep making more Wuthering Waves videos like this, and don't forget to participate in the giveaway. Till then.